Musically meditated. Welcome to Musically Meditated Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Riley, and I have my co-host here to my left-hand side, my right-hand man, but to my left-hand side, Sreten Jovanovic. What up?
What's up, man?
How you doing tonight?
Good. Self-conscious about my glasses because Wallace the other day called me Bernard from, what's that show on HBO?
I don't know. I don't watch TV.
People having sex with robots show. Westworld. Yeah, there's a character wears her glasses like this.
You look like with those glasses, like a very knowledgeable librarian.
Yeah.
Like
female librarian.
Female. Well, you got pink on tonight. I'm feeling it though.
Yeah, well.
I represent that pink.
That's right.
Or fuchsia.
Yeah. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well. This is episode Still Alive at 35, and we're still alive at 35, and I'm happy about that. Real quick, with this number, shout out to my late great friend, Richard Sean Potney. He passed away earlier this year at the age of 35, unfortunately. But we love you, we miss you, and rest in power. First things first, we're going to do our little self-plug, our shameless self-plug. And the first thing that I just came across...
wonderful discovery.
Yeah, wonderful discovery. I was looking at our lips and numbers for Musically Meditated, and all of a sudden I noticed Spotify numbers, and we are currently on Spotify, so please look for Musically Meditated on Spotify, stream that stuff, and send it to all your friends, family, relatives, enemies, preferably not Donald Trump, but, you know... He might
dig this.
He might dig this. I don't know. He's a dick, but at any rate, yeah. Please look for Musically Meditated on Spotify now. It's a big deal for us. Sreten, could you inform our loyal fan base why that is a big deal?
It is a big deal because Spotify just opened the doors to podcasts less than a year ago, but it's more like 4 to 6 months ago that they opened that up, and they're extremely picky. We actually got rejected a few times. Like, I don't have the acceptance email, neither do you, but I do have the rejection emails, and it's just like, you know, maybe in the future. So the fact that we got on there is big, especially since it is, you know, it fights for the number 1 or 2 streaming service for music listening, and that's what our show's about. So not only do we have the show on Spotify now, but we also have the actual, you know, so you follow Musically Meditated Podcast on Spotify. Now you can do that, but you also follow Musically Meditated at Gmail on Spotify to listen to the songs that we talk about.
Right.
So starting last week, we actually started to create those playlists, and we did it one other time, a couple times.
We've done it a couple times in the past.
Yeah. But now we're gonna keep it going. That way, you listen to the one. If you're like, oh man, I really like what Joe was just talking about, then you can go and listen to it. And like this week's list, granted, I created it. I might have got a little lazy because I just threw full albums on there.
Yeah.
But it's all over the place. It's awesome. You got hip hop, you got some rock, you got some punk.
Right.
And I wanted to put a little bit of my own flavor on there, but I let it be this week because it's a lot of music.
It is. Don't be shy. With this particular episode, I will shorten up the playlist, like my favorite tracks from, you know, 1 or 2 from what I'm going to talk about tonight. But that past one that Sreten put out for episode 34, please go back and revisit that. There was a moment when I discussed Deaf Heaven's Sunbather and shared some really great personal, how would you describe it, Sreten? Just tribulations?
You talked about what people rarely talk about, and that's the serious part of your connection to music.
Okay.
You put your heart out there.
Yeah.
Heart on the sleeve. You talked about why you got emotional. And it wasn't like, you know, you weren't like, I was 13 and my girlfriend broke up with me and my parents let me cry in the basement. Like, it was serious.
Yeah.
Real. Not that that's not serious for people when they go through it, but this was like some other...
Yeah, some other stuff. It was my last days saying goodbye to my grandfather at hospice, you know, and rest in peace to my grandfather, James Travis Whitaker. We miss you. We love you. Thank you for everything. But yeah, please go back and revisit that. Sreten put together a good playlist because, like you said, we mixed some hip hop in there too because we revisited with our new format some hip hop happy birthday classics, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Another thing, Sreten, real quick, self-plug, Green Door Network for everyone out there and what's going on with your other podcasts and where to find it, so on and so forth.
So Green Door Network, obviously, Green Door Network, if you want to hear all the podcasts that we're currently producing, you could just go to greendoornetwork.com. You could also look that up on iTunes or any other podcasting platform other than Spotify.
Woo, woo.
So right now we are currently we're moving things around in order to get a little crazy at the end of July. And when I mean crazy, we're going to get a little crazy. It's super exciting, borderline exhausting.
Little cray.
But right now, if you want that consistency, you got Musically Meditated, Juice Pro Wrestling, and Pricks on Flicks.
Right on.
They all have their own pages. They all have their own iTunes. The other exciting thing is that Google Podcasts just launched this week. So if you have an Android phone, the biggest thing with the Android phones is the good and the bad is with those phones, you have a lot of flexibility. You can make your phone wherever you want, but anybody can do an app. So for podcasting, there's a ton of apps. Now there's one specific one, like the iPhone has the podcasting app. Google has one too. So it's on there. So when you say we're on Google Play, we are on Google Podcasts.
Right on.
So it just simplifies everything. So when somebody goes, how do I listen? Well, Google Podcasts or what do you call it? Or iTunes. You're good. So that's what's going on. There's stuff going on in the bookstore too. But all that stuff is going to be on the website and actually inside the store and on the Facebook page the last week of July. So everything's kind of on the hush-hush because I don't want to just talk shit. I'm not ready for the hype train just yet. But yeah, the last week of July, it's going to get a little exciting and nutty. At the bookstore, in the studio, we just have a bunch of stuff that's about to happen.
Nuttier than squirrel shit over at the Green Door Bookstore and Network.
We pride ourselves on being nuttier than squirrel shit.
That's right. One more shameless self-plug, and then we're going to get on to our show. Musically Meditated has T-shirts. They're not available yet, but they will be. Here's a little backtrack on that. They are printed on American Apparel T-shirts, which is by far the most quality T-shirt you can get right now. I believe it's I know that it's thin. It's like a nice thin T-shirt, but is it I don't know if this is the right word, but single spun or something?
Michael Rappaport calls it Buttersoft T-shirts.
Buttersoft.
He doesn't talk about the weaving. They're Buttersoft.
They're Buttersoft. They're thin. It's going to be great for you for this current summer.
Yeah.
Just if you get a little moist, just
it's not a problem.
It's not a problem. And then, if you're using the right antiperspirant,
you're good to go.
You'll be all right.
And if you want to look cool.
And if you want to look cool, they look really cool. Like I got a little, I think I put it on Instagram just tonight or whatever. They look really great. Graphic 22 Printing in Hobart, Indiana did that, or they're about to do that, and stickers as well. And the next thing is all proceeds from sticker sales and these particular T-shirts is going to the Humane Society in Gary, Indiana. Shout out to Tom Lounges. He mentioned before on one of our other podcasts, I believe it was episode 21.
No, I always get confused.
I
should know that.
Yeah, we should know this. But at any rate, he said that particular Humane Society and whatnot gets forgotten about. Like, people just look past it because, Gary's, they're trying, but they're just a little bit behind the eight ball, so to speak. And a lot of those animals are as well. So all the proceeds for those T-shirts are going to go that way. So if you're an animal lover like I am myself, especially with pit bulls, I have a pit bull. Shout out to Tuco. I know he's listening to this podcast. I got him from Gary.
You got him hooked?
Yeah, I got him hooked. He's from GI. He's from Gary. He's from the Glen Park area, 48th in Kentucky to be exact. What up? But if you're an animal lover, please check out these T-shirts. They're super great. It's not like some Gildan like cardboard T-shirt. This is a nice quality, and the graphics from what I know from Graphic 22, it's nice and crisp. Yeah,
and you get one. Number one, you'll look cool. Number two, you'll actually help the Humane Society. And number three, you'll help get the word out with the show. People will see, and they'll ask you, like, what is Musically Meditated if they don't already know?
They should probably know.
They should probably know.
Yeah, best to know.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a tidal wave.
All right, let's transition into our first discussion. This is a metal or rock review for 2018 releases, and the first thing I'm going to go into is the release by Gruesome. Gruesome consists of Matt Harvey on guitar and vocals, Daniel Gonzalez on guitar, Ruben Mason on bass, and Gus Rios. Right quick, they're a multi-state death metal monster band. They started with Matt Harvey on guitars and vocals and drummer Gus Rios. And they're somewhat a tribute to the old school death metal band Death. If you do not know who Death is, you kind of suck at life, especially if you're a metalhead. So please go back, support some Death. R.I.P. Chuck, man. That's where it goes. You know, they were discussing ideas. You know, they've had a few albums, and they came up with this idea as like a joke to, as far as the albums they had before and this particular one, to just kind of mimic Death and that whole old school death metal approach. Sreten, I know I sent you some stuff today. What was your first impression?
I really like it. My second impression was I laughed a little bit, and I told you why. But yeah, I like it. Today is a particular day where it was bad traffic, and I needed something to get me hyped, get me through it, and that's exactly what I needed. And it was perfect timing, because when you sent it to me, I was about to run out of my car and out into the forest. I was getting a little crazy. So
he maybe not been. You might not be able to make it tonight. I don't know what I would have done without you.
I mean, you could have seen me on the Channel 9 News.
Serbian man going wild,
running through the forest. We think he's naked, but we're not sure. There's so much hair.
All right. Well, real quick, Harvey, the guitarist, he's from California. He recruited Possess guitarist Daniel Gonzalez and that bassist Robin Mason, I believe it is, to record material in Florida while Harvey tracked his own vocals on the West Coast. So, you know, there's this, I don't know how to describe it, just this collective of badasses to come together in a sense and try to recreate, or they have recreated, classic death metal from the group Death. So I'm really, really happy about that because, you know, speaking as an old head death metal fan, there's a lot of stuff that's, I don't know, maybe a little bit oversaturated, a little bit over crazy, a little bit noisy, so on and so forth. But with this, it just brings back that essence of really, really good death metal. So this album I'm talking about is Twisted Prayers. It's their second full-length album. This particular one is trying to copy the sound of Death's spiritual healing, and it incorporates like a really good melodic instrumentation, and it has a really good touch of thrash and like provoking vocals. And the vocals with this too reminds me not so much more of Death, but of Obituary, which is another Florida old school death metal band. So, you know, if you're a death metal head, you know who Obit is. I always refer to him Obit, and I know Juice from Pro Wrestling. He's got that one segment called Final Thoughts. Yeah, could you do that for us real quick, Sreten?
The theme song of Final Thoughts?
Yeah.
Final Thoughts!
Final Thoughts! Yeah, Final Thoughts. So
Yeah, it took him a while to write that.
It did.
And I cringe and flinch. And then laugh, because it's really funny.
Nah, not bad. The band enlisted a legendary guitarist on this, James Murphy, who is also from Death, Obituary, and Testament, for a pair of special guests for guitar solos. So all the solos that you hear on this are from them individuals. So please bow your heads in worship to the new Gruesome. Please go back and listen to the other Gruesome stuff, which has this whole death theme. Real quick, as far as the musical sound goes with this, the guitars, I love the guitars. Sreten, you made that one reference to the intro to that one song. And who are you referring it to? And I was like, nah, that's some bullshit. But you were right.
One of the greatest guitarists, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Prince.
And what was the song?
When Doves Cry.
And what was the Gruesome song, that guitar intro?
It was the one, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you.
Yeah, but he was correct. He came correct on this. I'm like, no. But no disrespect to Prince. And rest in peace. There's a lot of footage of him shredding on the guitar. Purple Rain is still one of the best albums of all time, but you can tell there's a little little Prince influence coming up. You could just hear it in the intro of the song.
Waste of Life.
Waste of Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, the intro to Waste of Life. Perfect. But I really like the noodling. I love the noodling. It reminds
me
me. It reminds me of Chuck from Death, and it's just a classic, great death metal feel. And
It gets you in the mood immediately.
And like the artwork and the package, like I want to get this long sleeve. Like I love death metal t-shirts that have yellow against, like, on top of the black. Like they have like a long sleeve and it's the gruesome font or whatever you want to call it. That's my favorite word, right? I'm a Badani font kind of guy, but you know what I'm saying. Badani, baby.
Badani for life.
Badani font. But I love the yellow and the contrast against the black, and it has that spiritual healing, like anti-Christian vibe with the artwork. It's a great thing. They're capturing great shit. And then the drumming on this has like an old school back forth thrash. Nothing particularly special, but back and forth old school drumming like thrash style. So I love it. And like I said, the artwork is just amazing. Sreten.
I didn't pay attention to the artwork as much as the music.
I know, but
I played these 3 songs over and over.
It's the total package.
Yeah, I get it.
It's the total package.
With a lot of this music, and again, bring on the hate mail, but music is the number one thing for most of these guys. But almost equally important is the artwork and the vision and your style and how you dress, which I'm on the fence on, and somebody could fight me on that for sure.
Yeah, but they have a style too on stage. Like they have the old, don't quote me on this, but like old BC Rich or guitar or Flying V, or they just have that early '90s Tampa heavy metal look. Seriously, and like or I know Corpse is from Buffalo, but they did a lot of their shit back down in Florida, and Obits from there, and there was just like this scene back in the late '80s, early '90s that this is about. And as a traditional death metal head, I'm really excited. And the production on this too, it's like it's clean, but it's clean in a good way. The only thing I do not like about the production is the basses in the back, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it's a guitar album, so I'm all right with that. Like, you aren't listening to the bass guitar when you're listening to some old school death. So it is what it is. But now let's transition. So we got the death metal out of the way. Now I want to get into Sleep Sciences. Sleep is an American doom metal band from San Jose, California. San Jose, the Bay, baby. They earned their they got a lot of attention early on in their career. I have a personal story about Sleep, and this goes way, way back.
What's that, Joe?
All right, you want to hear? You want to hear my story about Sleep? I had a girlfriend, like a friend as in childhood, and she had a few brothers. Her name's Angie. She had like older brothers, like we were in like grade school, because Sleep's first album came out in the mid 90s. And her oldest brother was that dude that had all the Black Sabbath posters. He was listening to Iron Maiden, but then he was into like some really obscure stuff. And I just remember his t-shirts. He was listening to like Acid Bath. Shout out to Acid Bath. Yeah, that's, stuff like that. And what else? Macabre, like Chicago's finest shitcore death metal band. Like he would have that stuff. And I remember we went in the back room and he was just jamming this track. And I don't know. And like I walked in the room, I think they were, smoking bong hits or something, like something you're not supposed to walk in when you're a kid, but it is what it is. And I heard this tune. And he's like, "Hey man," I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "You ever hear of this group?" I'm like, "Well, what's their name?" He's like, "It's Sleep." I'm like, "No, I don't know nothing about it." He's like, "It's Black Sabbath on steroids." I'm like, "All right." I mean, but this dude was like 18 and I was like 6 or something. So I was like, "Well, let me see the CD or whatever." And he actually had the album, the record, and he showed it to me. And it was their first album. I don't remember the name of it right now. Is it Holy Mountain? Don't kill me, metalheads. Don't kill me. But I think, the major song is
Tread lightly, Joe.
Tread lightly. Tread lightly. It's Dragnet or Drognet. I don't know how you say it. But he was spinning that track, and he showed me the album cover, and I'm like, whoa. And it's just like this crazy, I don't know how to describe it, like not tentacles, but just like black and gray matter with arms and legs. And in the middle of it, it has like this circle, and then it says sleep, like super cool and stoner cool in the middle. So fast forward to now, I forgot about it, and I was at Kuma's Corner in Chicago, and my cousin Ian and I were getting ready to go to a show. And shout out to Ian! Ian, what up? What up, Ian? We're getting ready to eat whatever burger at Kuma's. You know, I think I got the Mayhem, and I think he got the Plague Bringer at this particular time. What up, Kuma's? And
that second burger sounds suspicious.
Well, they're named after metal bands.
Oh, okay.
Every burger's named after a metal band.
I will be quiet then.
Yeah. Bite your tongue, Sreten. But all of a sudden this track comes on. Ian's like, what is this? You know, I'm like, oh, man, that was good, you know? And all of a sudden he's like, look, dude. And like, I don't know if they had like a screen or something, but he's like, it's Sleep. And then I remembered that album cover. I'm like, oh, shit. Damn, all right. So that's my Sleep story.
It's a good story.
Thanks, man.
Are they Black Sabbath on steroids?
Yeah, they've here's the thing, they haven't been around for a while. The best way I can describe them is like they are the ultimate stoner rock, you know, and they had a huge, strong heavy metal influence from the 90s. And fast forward now to Sciences, it was released on 420. Imagine that.
That's super clever.
Super clever, Cannibal Culture.
Yeah.
Super clever. And here's a little unknown fact for all you Sleep fans, and you know what I'm about to talk
What are you gonna say?
Matt Pike, the guitarist and vocalist, was shirtless during the entire recording. There's been countless.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. But like there's been countless memes and stuff about Pike, like always shirtless. So it's official. Like I knew this guy that knew this guy. And he was there, and he was like, "Hey,"
and he
man.
confirmed.
And he's like, "Hey, man, Matt Pike wasn't wearing a shirt when he recorded this." And not only that, like he always slid down to the 12th, you know, the 12th note, you know, because if you ever watch any old Matt Pike shit, like he's always talking about sliding down. A cool thing about this album, when they first pressed it, it was limited into 2 colors, you know, for the vinyl stuff, and it was they streamed it on iTunes and Spotify. And here's a cool thing. It debuted at number 49 on the Billboard 200, and it was Sleep's first album to chart on the U.S. boards. So that's a big deal when it comes to metal.
For that genre, for sure, yeah.
For sure. Like, so much respect, man. Much respect. You know, Sciences is definitely a stoner rock album. It's built upon a lot of down-tuned distortion. The slow bass, you know, alongside with the low guitar by Matt Pike, it sets the tone. You know, they do a lot of repetition with the riffs. The passages are pretty, I don't know, they coincide very well. And, you know, they're kind of working together to make this like hypnotic state. And the vocals, I love them sometimes I don't, but they're very, very similar into a meditative state from this band called Ohm from back in the day. I don't know if you all remember them. And a lot of the lyrics have to do with obviously smoking pot and like in a religious fashion. So, you know, this is Stoner Rock 101. So check it out. Check it out for sure. The song Marijuana's Theme, Pitchfork cited it as the best track off the album, and it begins with a bong hit. Imagine that.
What's called stoner rock is actually my new musical love. So I'm trying to get everything in and start picking apart what I like and what I don't like. What I do like about it is that slow, low, that like rhythm.
Yeah, you were saying
the dirtiness, like. If I could describe it, like if somebody was actually like if the guitar and the bass is going.
Yeah,
I can't get that low.
It's kind of like driving a monster truck on a bunch of Xanax and like 15 Guinnesses.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, if you ever were to eat 15 Xanax and drink a bunch of Guinness, like.
No, I can't.
You got this. You know, besides all the marijuana references, Scientist makes multiple allusions of bringing heavy metal pioneers Black Sabbath back to the forefront. You know, we could break down Doom for days on end, but without Black Sabbath, you wouldn't have Doom metal. So
Doom is the same as stoner.
Stoner.
Right? Same thing.
Yeah, that could be debated, but somewhat. I mean, Black Sabbath is the one that started it. I mean, it goes without saying, but stoner rock, doom metal, it kind of all goes hand in hand, like especially if you're a sativa head, or not sativa head, my bad, an indica head instead of a sativa.
Thank God for that correction. People were going to go crazy.
I know, all those potheads.
Joe, you fool.
All those potheads are going to come at me hard. But, here's another thing, too, with, in relation to Black Sabbath and their influence on sleep. They have a song called Giza Butler, which is the bass player of Black Sabbath. And, what up, Giza? And references are made through, like, all kinds of different, like, novels by Frank Herbert's Dune, including Gam Jabbar, which they refer to as Bong Jabbar, and Maud Deeb's Maud Doob. So, shout out to sleep. Let's transition into some singles that have been around. We got first and foremost a band that I've talked about a lot on this podcast, the friends of Bobby Marcos and all the Cloakroom Boys. What up, Bobby? If anyone's missed that episode, go back and check it out. Nice shroom gaze band. But nothing. They dropped out their new single, 0 Day. And I don't know if did you listen to it yet, Sreten? No? I
did. I'm all over the place with the music currently because I got a lot of influx of different things, but Cloakroom is what I fell asleep to last night. I needed to chill out, had a headache. World was spinning. I played a couple of those tracks. Man, it put me in the right mood.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
That's what I really like to hear. I asked Bobby earlier today, too, because I could tell from this first single, 0 Day. Hey, man, who produced this? And John Elegino did. And John Elegino has been around for years in the alternative music scene. And Dinosaur Jr. is one of the bigger ones that's under his awesome umbrella. So everybody go check out Nothing 0 Day, faux show. And, like I said, the video is cool. They have a new bass player, Nick Bissett. I don't know what's going on with that, but he's not a part anymore. And this video it's different. I don't know if it's like, if it was shot during Death Day or Halloween, and they have, what do they call him? Nicky Money, right? Nicky Money, the singer, in a coffin, and the rest of the band is carrying him. And I could tell that Nick wasn't in the band anymore because they have a new bass player, and the new bass player transitioned into this next single is from Jesus Piece. Jesus Piece is a hardcore band. I believe they're from Philly, and the guy that's playing bass now for Nothing is the vocalist from Jesus Piece. I believe his name is Aaron. Sorry, dude, if I got it wrong. But their new single is called Curse of the Serpent, and it's really, really good. They incorporate a lot of old school hardcore, maybe a little metalcore. Their earlier shit is really badass. So everybody please go check out this new single called Curse of the Serpent. Love me some Jesus Piece. That's a good band name, man. It's Sreten. They can't see you shaking your head.
Yes, it is. Sorry, a fly just flew in here, and I'm about to punch it in the face.
This damn fly. All right, another thing. Transition into another single. This new single is dope. I believe it's on Death Wish Incorporated. That's Jacob Banner from Converge's record label, and it's by a band called Vane. I know I've talked about Vane before in the past on one of the other podcasts for a second, and the reason they got my attention was because they were recorded on a few Hate 5-6 videos on YouTube, and that's like a hardcore punk, that's on Instagram and YouTube channel where they have all kinds of live video footage, and Vane brings the house down. They were actually in Gary, Indiana last summer. Yeah, I think they opened up for Glassjaw a few times here within the last few months too, but at any rate, Vane's live show is intense. It's very chaotic, and it's I don't know, it's intimidating. It reminds me of some old school shit. And they have these really cool black windbreakers that, hey, Vane, if you're listening, snatch one of those for me, please. snatch me one of those windbreakers, man. They're dope.
Ask him to snatch one for your Eastern European friend. We love black windbreakers.
We love black windbreakers. But everyone that was wearing a black windbreaker in these particular videos, like it was like almost their gang or their squad, and like they're like, you know, stage potatoing off the stage with not a lot of dudes there because all the other Vane like fans are just freaking out. So yeah, this song at any rate is called Doom Tech, and Vane is bringing back that old school 90s metalcore that I haven't heard in a long time, with a lot of guitar squeals, and the drumming's amazing and the vocals are tight. They had this small little EP. It's available. I don't remember the name, but that's what I remember, like watching the live shows and streaming it on Spotify, and it's great shit. But this particular single and what's coming out, this Doom Tech, got to get on it.
Is there a noticeable difference between 90s Doom and any current Doom?
Okay, we're gonna backtrack into Doom. When I said with Vane, like Doom Tech, that's like that's just like some new wave bullshit term. So they're not doomy at all.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, I that wasn't the right way to describe it. They're like a metalcore band, but they're kind of like technical.
I guess what I was asking was so metalcore.
Yeah.
So I use the wrong words frequently. So
it's okay.
Forgive me, internet.
Yeah.
And Joe.
Don't shame on us.
Yeah, we have a hate mail segment. Bring it.
We're millennials. Yeah, we have a lot of hate mail.
SRETN. Yeah, unfortunately. What did you do? What did you do?
I don't know. And you know what?
Damn it.
I'm a millennial because I was born in '83. I don't think you are, but my feelings don't get that hurt.
Generation.
So bring that hate mail, y'all. Biznatches, but go ahead.
But the metalcore. Is there a difference between 90s metalcore and current metalcore?
Yeah,
or is current metalcore like kind of...
That's a good question because...
Not as prominent.
That's what I think Vane's doing here. They're bringing back that 90s metalcore.
That would be squealing guitars.
Squealing, a little bit of converge.
More vocals up front.
Yeah, like the real like raspy, I don't know, violent shout vocals. But the guitars, yeah, like Vane has this really cool approach with the guitars that's 90s metalcore, and I really appreciate it. And the drumming is just dope, really good. But the energy they bring, like they demand chaos. So please, everyone, like look for Vane at Hate56 videos, and they're the shit. They're really good. Here's some honorable mentions. Now I'm going to go into the indie rock, post-hardcore kind of avenue, and Fiddle Head. Springtime the Blind. They're on Run for Cover Records. Their vocalist is Mr. Flynn from Have Heart. They sound a lot like old school Jawbox, Fugazi. I hear a little At the Drive-In, a little Superchunk. They're a Boston-based band. They're like a musical dream team. They're featuring, like I said, Pat Flynn, drummer Sean Costa from Have Heart, and Basement's guitarist Alex Henry. So we've talked about Basement before. So shout out to Basement. And they just have that really good, they got that alternative old school 90s post-hardcore little vibe to them. But the EP that I really liked was Bloom, and it came out on Locking Out Records. It was just a short little phase, but it was a great little EP. It's got a yellow cover, like a little human head in the middle. I saw it online. A lot of it's sold out, but I'm going to buy it for sure. Like I said, going back to their full length, Springtime and Blind, it stems actually from the loss of the singer Flynn's father. So the lyrical output is extremely emotional, and it's channeling his and his mother's pain and aching, and it has like this really cool ambient vibe behind it. Like it's a really good sing-along. This also was just posted on Run the Covers live feed. They played like a skate shop in LA, and there's just something very heartwarming and heartfelt about this. Like, because old school Have Heart was just hardcore, and I watched some stuff with Flynn, like he was picking out records. It was like a record selection, and he's focusing more now on the post-hardcore punk scene. And going into that, it's more chanty and it's more emotional. So I like that approach, like to post-hardcore and like post-punk. Like it doesn't have to be tough guys shout, like it could be emotional and with a lot of like rhythm. So
Shout out to Deftones.
shout out to Deftones. Yeah, I hear a lot of, especially with that first EP at the drive-in. So if you're an At the Drive-In fan, and Superchunk, and definitely Fugazi, they got this Fugazi feel. So please check them out. They're dope. Like if you like Title Fight and Floral Green and like those cool melodic post-hardcore aggressions, I think this is where it's at. So don't sleep on them. All right. Now let's transition into the hate mail. Sreten, what do we got?
Come on. All right.
Come on.
All right.
We like to keep it positive here, but we know Musically Meditated gets some hate mail.
All right. I got 2 of these. I'll do the first one because the first one's not so bad. Oh, shit. Okay. The first one says, crisis averted. I spilled my tequila. Dear Joe Riley, quick question, and thank you so much for if you answer. What's your normal/average daily music listening routine? I'm curious. I really like the show and The Cure. I'm Team Robert Smith. Signed N. Nelson. That's not hate mail. I guess it's just somebody wanted to answer a question. Thank God, because this other one's fucked up.
All right. Well, my daily music routine has to go around my mood and what I'm feeling. So, for instance, in the morning, depending on if I need to get hype and I haven't had any coffee, I'm going to listen to something chaotic. If I want to chill out, which I usually want to chill out when I go to work, I'm listening to the Smiths, a lot of the Smiths, a lot of Morrissey, just chilling and taking it all in. So there you go to the question of it's a nice question, but if I want to get hyped, what I've been listening to recently or as of late. A lot of Denzel Curry. He's a great rapper, great newer up-and-coming hip-hop artist. Everybody needs to get on his jock.
Nice.
Right.
Nobody asked me, but most mornings I listen to a little bit of D. Antwoord. They're the South African rap band consisting of a man and a woman, DJ, or what's his name? Ninja, and Yolani something. They're just nutcases. And their last album came out a couple years ago. I wasn't digging it, but those first 2, I really enjoy it. I'll play it for you later.
Please do. I've never heard of that.
Very high energy. They're like I said, they're pretty crazy. All right. There's a stupid hate mail. Fast. I should have just printed it out.
Haters form a line.
Okay, ready? Yep. Hey, Joe. Huge fan of the show. I'm a huge fan of everything punk and DIY, and really enjoy what you have going on with Musically Meditated. So far, so good.
Well, that's nice. Thanks.
I like your take on different genres. It's funny. I usually like what you like. I especially like your voice. How does it get like that? It's awesome. Did it get like that from all the crying and wailing you do listening to Morrissey in your basement, drunk off of apple teenies? Did it get that way from chain smoking? How many packs do you smoke a day? It's got to be a lot. Your voice is so great. How early did you start smoking? Did you smart?
What an asshole!
Did you start smoking because you were stressed out? Or what did it say in the third? Did you start in the 3rd grade because you were stressed out about being worse than all the other kids at tetherball at recess?
Oh my!
Did you start smoking because you couldn't write a cursive Z? Or J or R or Y, so your teachers all thought your name was Yo Bailey?
That's racist. I'm Irish. That's racist.
Hey, Yo Bailey. Yoey Bailey. Also, your producer Sreten sounds like if Jason Segel played a gay guy in a movie. Love the show. Can't wait for the next one. I'm Team Morrissey, signed Anonymous. All right, well.
Damn.
Anonymous made up for it. This show is pretty funny.
Shots fired. I don't know what to tell you, anonymous dickhead.
Yo, Bailey.
I started smoking Newports when I was 15.
Oh, no.
I've quit on and off throughout the years. Currently, I'm off instead of on. And maybe that gives me that sexy voice. Ladies slide right into my DMs.
What about this crying in Morrissey in a basement, listening to Morrissey drunk off apple tea?
Well, whenever I'm alone and I'm listening to Morrissey, I've never actually cried, but I would drink a lot of Hendrick's gin. It just must be this like London, British thing, you know? Like, I don't know. You know,
Pounding celery sticks.
yeah, I'm just eating nothing but vegan plates and drinking really, really British London dry gin. But I've never cried
The
myself.
driest gin you can get your hands on.
You know, like my whole Morrissey and the Smiths phase, like it did come during a very depressing time. Imagine that. But it helped me through it or something. So kiss my ass, Anonymous. You dick. All right. I have some hate mail myself here. Here we go. Hey, if Joe says the term post-hardcore one more time, I'm going vegan and I'm dyeing my hair lime green because I'm going vegan for Morrissey. Oh, shots fired. Who is this?
Who are these fucking people?
All these people.
Sorry.
All these.
So we got. Oh, hold on. So the internet is a fire with a slowly building Team Morrissey and Team Robert Smith beef. So,
oh, that beef's gonna happen, but
I
think this is why this is starting because. Go ahead,
man. I'm Rob. So according to those letters, it's one Robert Smith and two Morrissey.
So Morrissey,
you're a Morrissey guy. I'm a Robert Smith guy. So it's 3-2 for Morrissey so far.
That's good. We're gonna have to bring in the heavy hitters. Shots fired, Gabe from Grindhouse.
Bring it, Gabe, but I'm on your side, though.
You're on Gabe's side. I need a Morrissey. I need some Morrissey backup here.
My brother's coming from Europe. There's a man in the city named Rudy.
Rudy Rudiger?
Rudy Rudiger.
What, from Joliet?
My cousin and my brother you guys might get into a fight for who's the biggest Morrissey fan.
We'll settle this with a boxing match or an arm wrestling competition.
Well, if that's the case, Gabe and I will beat any number of people that come against us.
I'm just going to spear both your asses.
Dude, I've ripped like 3 shirts just today trying to pick stuff up because the guns are out of control.
The guns are out of control, but I will spear you fuckers like Goldberg.
Goldberg.
All right, here we go.
Yo, Bailey!
Yo, Morrissey! You got snaps on that Petro! All right. Here's the next hate mail.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah,
Fuck.
I got one more.
Okay.
All right. When is Joe going to give Sreten a chance to talk music? Like his own 1-hour show. Joe is a self-absorbed attention whore. God damn, man. These people are mean.
I mean, no, you're not.
Well, thanks, dude.
No, you're not.
When are you going to have your own 1-hour show talking about your music? But you can't talk Dave Matthews.
Well, then I guess that hype that I was hyping about what's going on.
Forget about
what's going on at the Green Door. I guess not a Dave Matthews podcast.
But man, shots fired. I don't have any good mail. Everybody's just sending me some shit.
There's one good one asking about your daily routine. I wanted to bring that one in. There's always one nice one. We just for this segment we got to bring the rough stuff.
We do.
Man, I'm printing and laminating and framing in nice frames all the good ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Mostly dick pics.
Yeah, a lot of dick pics. Don't slide into my DMs with your dick pics. All right? No, ladies, say what's up.
Yeah.
What up? All right, let's transition. We're getting silly, but thanks for all the hate mail. Keep it coming, you sons of guns. Rock birthdays today. First and foremost, since everybody's giving me shit about talking about Morrissey and the Deftones, Mr. Chino Moreno, singer of the Deftones, was born on June 20th. I don't remember the date, but I know he's 45, so Sreten, can you do the math? That's 1973. So shout out to Chino. And not only that, in rock history news, the awesome, life-changing album White Pony was released on the same day. So
He released it on his birthday?
Yeah, they did. June.
Joe, do you know where you are right now?
I don't know where I'm at. I love you, Chino. And that album really changed my life. It opened me up to all kinds of different music. We have individuals lined out the door to do a Deftones Happy Birthday special episode for White Pony. So Those of you that are listening for the first time, please go back and revisit Happy Birthday Around the Fur. We did a long time ago. Then we did Diamond Eyes Happy Birthday with Juice Pro Wrestling and Nick. No, Nick wasn't there. It was Juice Pro Wrestling. It was just Justin.
Yeah,
right?
It was just Justin.
Yeah, it was just Justin. And then we just did the self-titled one as well, and that was great. So go back and revisit those. And the White Pony Happy Birthday is coming up soon. I do. We have people lined up out the door that really want to get a part, and jump on board, because that album is probably it's in my top 5 most influential albums in my entire life. It's turned me on to all kinds of music. So happy birthday, Chino. Happy birthday, White Pony. And now, Sreten, let's move on to happy birthday, Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures.
Yeah.
That album is a total game changer, especially with the post-punk movement. I know it came out in 1979. I don't want to get too much into that personally, because I'm going to bring a guest on and we're going to talk about that. Shout out to Chloe. She's going to come on and we're going to break that down and how it changed our lives. But Sreten, what do you know about Joy Division? You got anything for me?
It's been in my world since I was a kid, and I did not know that it came out the year that it came out. Like, I think before I was born, right? Yeah. 70, what'd you say?
79.
Well, I was 1. Yeah, I was listening to that. You sent me the link for another video that talked about, the album and how big it was and what it meant, and how short of a lifespan the band had, but what impact they had on me. Yeah. So it was, and they only had 2 albums. Yeah,
they had 1 EP and 2 albums, and then the rest of the band went on and joined or formed New Order.
Yeah.
You know New Order.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, so it's like awesome to also awesome.
You're right.
But I didn't realize what an influence it had on me, and I was listening to it, and it was nice. It was that thing where it brings you back to memories that I couldn't identify where I've heard this before, but it's so weird how sometimes music triggers not muscle memory, because that's like running and shit, but the opposite, like
mental muscle memory.
Yeah, like mental muscle.
That?
Like it starts to trigger something, and it was just nice. Like it was great. I just started listening to the songs. I was like, okay, I have good memories of one of my cousins who's a few years older than me. I think she's like 5 or 6 years older than me, and she was into all that music, like
the
New Order.
New Order.
Yeah,
okay.
New Wave. But it was nice to hear that. I started thinking of her. I got, I love her. I love my cousins, and like to hear that stuff. It was just nice. And what's crazy is the music is intense, So I'm having these nice feelings while I'm also like getting a little hype.
It's very intense, like emotionally.
Yes.
Joy Division is, especially Unknown Pleasures. It's just a very bleak, dark experience, and they just incorporated a lot of different genres, and I feels it. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Very good stuff. One more thing. As far as birthdays go, and it's actually on the same day as Chino's, I believe, Tom Araya from Slayer. Happy birthday, Tom. Man, Slayer, we could do like 5 episodes on Slayer, but they've been a huge influence on me since I was a kid, and I don't know what else to say, and I tip my hat to them as well. Like, they lost Lombardo as far as being their drummer, and Jeff passed away, and Tom and Kerry King just keep it going. And I know they just did a tour recently, and shout out to Tom, man. Like he's a super awesome guy. You could just tell, and you watch any interviews of him. So happy birthday to Tom. Now let's transition to don't like what you like. Are you and this is this is
I
where
know
I
I need to
go.
get serious, because we do get a little serious.
We get a little serious on this, and this is going to be shots fired. And a lot of people are going to get shitty with me about this because they love this band. They love this band, and it's Ghost, aka Ghost BC. I don't like what you like. I don't like Ghost. The first album or EP or whatever it was okay, but here's my thing with them: the theatrics and the album covers and all that jazz. It's cool. I'm into that. I've never had an opportunity to see them live. I know they've toured with my fanboy favorite band of all time, Deftones, but there's something about the vocals that I don't care for, and the super slick production of all their music. I think it sounds very premeditated. I think it just I don't know. They're like the Kiss of the 20 teens.
Ooh, shots fired.
Shots fired. Like, that's all they are. You know, so I'm not into it. This new single, Rat, sucks. You know, sorry, metalheads. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, the theatrics are cool, but looking at it from a musical, you know, just perspective, like, I don't feel it. Like, if they can make shit a little bit more dirty and scream a little bit more, maybe
Might be different.
Maybe I could tap into that. But
to twist that, because we're always looking at the positivity, what you're talking about, that overproduction, possibly planned, like everything is kind of mathematical, planned out. Not the mathematics of a music like Tool, but actually like the presentation of the product. When we first started the podcast, one of the bands that you shouted out was a band out of like Michigan City or Chesterton or something that you said sounded like not AC/DC, but oh man, your dad thought it was. Oh,
they're not from Michigan City.
I messed it up.
This is Greta Van Fleet.
Yes,
Greta Van Fleet. They're from Michigan.
Michigan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but like that's a good example of something that sounds good, that you enjoy, that possibly could have been, you know, like created, like a boy band gets created.
Yeah, they got that vibe. Yes.
Right.
Good point. That was episode 3 for all y'all cats that want to go revisit.
Right. But you enjoyed that. Whereas this, and
yeah,
this is different.
Yeah, I enjoy Greta Van Fleet way more than Ghost. Like Ghost's first release, whatever it was, an album or EP, I got down. There was some like cool shit going on, but I don't like what you like. Sorry, metalheads. Sorry, not sorry, but I'm not feeling it. I never have. I never will. I've tried so many times, but I'm not into it. So
what if they wrote a song called "I Love Deftones"?
Well, if they had Chino on a track, then maybe I'd give them a chance. maybe I'd give them a chance. But let's do this. In closing, I got a new segment here, and it's called "Meditate on This." All right, we all need to keep a PMA, positive mental attitude, and here we go. Nothing in your life will change unless you're willing to step outside of your comfort zone, okay? So just get outside of that. You know, step out, adventure a little bit more, if it's musically, if it's socially, whatever it is. You know, we're all somewhat judged on the way we live our life, but who gives a shit what people think? So, you know, get out of your comfort zone. And just move on and experience new things. So please, like, nothing will change in your life if you forget, or if you refuse, I should say, to step out of your comfort zone. So meditate on that. We'll see you next week. Check out Musically Meditated on Spotify, iTunes, all that jazz. Sreten, thanks for the opportunity as always.
Yeah.
One love. See you next week. Adios. I'm musically meditated.
That's right.
I'm musically meditated. That's right. I'm musically meditated.
Producer my ass over there.